recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Right. Welcome back to the Words From My Mouths podcast. And I'm sorry to say this is going to be the first of probably many, knowing me, apologies I have to make on YouTube. I've let myself down, I've let you guys down, I've let you down, Pete, I'm so sorry. But in last week's podcast, I said something I shouldn't have said. I said that people were stealing PS5s by weighing them as 8 onions. It wasn't, it was PS4s, and I'm so sorry for that. Welcome back to the Words From My Mouths podcast.
Oh, for God's sake, that was your opener.
Okay, it is true, I was like, it is PS4s, and I kept saying PS5s, but I got my consoles mixed up. Sorry.
You had PS5 on the brain, that's okay. It happens. Okay,
They're
from the
still
bottom
out
of my
of
heart,
stock.
From the bottom of my heart, James, I forgive you for this mistake.
Okay, good. No one else does.
No, nobody else is listening, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, people with pitchforks outside my house now. Okay, push.
But it's just normal because you live in the back country.
I live in a city still.
No, you
No,
don't.
hang
You
on.
live in the arse end
I've been
of
to
nowhere.
your town. I live in more of a built-up area than you do.
That's because we're in the north. We've only just discovered how to put bricks together.
You've stopped using wattle and daub.
Yeah, it's been a glorious upgrade, I can tell you right now. We're all much warmer, we're living longer, and our teeth are staying in.
Oh, God, you're living longer. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so you get ready for us to march down there in our late 40s, just before we die.
It's too warm for you guys down here.
You're goddamn right. It's been too warm, actually. You know what? On that note, it's been too warm all bloody year.
No, it hasn't. It's fucking freezing. It was -2 this morning when I went outside.
Yeah, but -2 isn't that cold for winter. -2 is like
It's
very
not
mild.
warm.
No, it's not, but it's mild.
Your plums were stuck to my leg with the fucking ice.
I'm sure I used to walk to school in -8, and nowadays.
Back in my day.
Yeah, well, I know, because come on, you're roughly the same age as me. There's only a couple of years in it, but I'm sure it was that
It's not
cold
even that,
then.
I don't think.
Yeah, it's like less than a year or something.
I think
but
so.
like,
How old are
back
you?
then, I'm 30.
Yeah, I'm 30 this year, Pete.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 31 this year. That's scary.
So there's a
Andy.
year between
Are you
us.
listening, Andy?
Year and a bit. Hi, Andy.
Yeah. Oh, it's worth noting actually that we're on our own this week. This is the first podcast since Christmas that we've done on our own.
So peaceful.
Peaceful. Oh no, don't be like that. Our guests have been enriching the podcast.
They can't make it any worse, can they? No, Happy did.
No, they can't. Well, no, Happy generated our first complaint. We also, incidentally, is our first interaction from any listeners as well.
No.
We
A
can't
couple of
complain.
people have said they're listening. Andy said he's listening. Andy,
well, I suppose.
Andy is one of our treasured viewers because he listens.
Yes, he's one of our only listeners as well.
That's why he's
We're
treasured.
grateful. We are grateful for your ears, Andy.
We are grapefruit.
And if you do get a microphone sorted, you can definitely be a guest and tell stories of our childhood and things.
Of listening to the podcast. Oh, okay. One day I was listening in the car, and the next day I was also in the car.
It'll be like a meta podcast where we just talk about the podcast, like we're doing now. Actually, that's
Podcastception.
Podception.
Can we make a podcast of making a podcast?
Did you hear that?
What?
Did you not hear that rattling noise then?
No.
That'll have been picked up by my microphone. Now, I found a nail on the microphone.
Don't flick it.
Well, not a nail. It's a screw. It doesn't belong to the microphone.
So did you just pull it out?
No, it was just on. Like it's like my microphone's on a tripod.
Why are there screws in your microphone?
I don't know. That's why I'm confused. That's why this is a point of conversation for me. There is a screw on my microphone, which is weird because it was collapsed and lay down when I sat down. So I've set it up, and it was on there before then, and I didn't knock it off until now.
Why? Where did it come from?
The microphone. I don't know.
The north is
I
weird.
don't know. The north is weird. It's ever since we upgraded the house, everything's just got more metal in it.
What, you stopped using straw and went to brick?
Yeah.
Fucking metal everywhere. Do you know in the south they're starting to build houses out of like metal and glass, Pete?
That's disgusting.
They look quite nice.
No, well, I don't want to live in one.
There was one built recently by Grand Designs on like a hill nearby. It's fucking stunning. Everyone keeps moaning about it because it's into the landscape. No, it's fucking stunning.
Does it ruin the landscape though?
Well, it'd be better if there wasn't a house there, but I'd rather that than like the shitty new builds the council put up, but they all look the fucking same.
The big squares.
Yeah, a little bit. They are quite squarish.
Yeah, well, the big blocks of flats that they throw up round here all look the same.
So this has got like glass front, and it's like a bowed front and all that lot. I think there's a helipad on top of it as well, but it's like 14 million. It's going to be sold
Someone's
for
just
something like that.
willy waving there, aren't they? That's to be honest.
If you had that much money,
Look
you
how
would get a
much
nice
money
house,
I've got. Oh, I've got a drive for my helicopter and a drive for my cars and the runway leads straight to the kitchen so that I could grab a beer on the way in.
Oh, it's
you know what? If I had a lot of
it's
money,
a drive
I
for
wouldn't
cars
like that.
and a drive for helicopters, but a runway for planes.
Yes.
Do boats go on the rails?
No, the boat goes in the basement.
Why is the boat in the basement?
Because the basement's always flooded because I built the house.
It's quite close to the sea as well, so...
That's because you're surrounded by sea on your little weird stretch of England.
We're in England. We're all surrounded by sea. It's an island.
Yeah, I don't know what... Look, it's very late in the day. I say things that don't make any
It's
sense.
the
That's
same
why
time we
call
always
this.
record.
Yes, which is always... It's a good thing you called it Words From Our Mouths because I just dribble words. I just go... I open my mouth, I start moving my tongue in some sort of rhythm, and
Tongue?
words come out.
Tongue? Tongue.
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 Yes.
Tongue.
Not tongue. Tongue's what you pick up sausages with. You're barbecuing.
It's the same pronunciation, different spelling.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Does it? Do you know what I was talking about, didn't you?
Only because of what you were saying. If you just said it randomly on my tongue,
okay,
hurts,
so
I
you
think
knew
you'd
what I
hurt
was
a kitchen
saying.
implement.
So
If
you inferred through context.
Oh,
Well
no.
done, James.
Even if you
now
went-
you're reaching the point where language barrier is not a problem.
If you went, I've lost my tongue, I'd assume you meant cooking instrument, not bodily part.
Okay, bodily part.
I didn't know what I was.
You're going to
call
lecture
it.
me on the way I pronounce things, and you're going to say bodily part.
I'm the pot calling the kettle here, but
At least you admitted it.
yeah, I'll never deny it. My English is about as good as yours.
Which is to say, it's absolute bollocks.
What is correct English? Is it what the Queen speaks?
You know, probably, yeah.
Imagine if we all spoke like the Queen.
It's like if you listen to older actors, not young actors talk like shite. Old refined actors, so like Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, those sort of people. They will. John Rhys Davies, he has lovely diction. They'd speak proper English.
Oh god, there's one I'm trying to think of. I can't remember what the fuck he's called. Michael Caine.
No,
Michael Caine has a pretty
No.
good articulation.
no, he doesn't. No, sorry, too southern.
The Queen's Southern.
No, the Queen's German. There's a difference.
No, the Queen's family is German. The Queen isn't German.
The Queen's definitely German.
Prince Philip
No,
was Greek.
no English people live that long.
My nan's older than the Queen. She was born in England.
She's German then, clearly. I was trying to think of a typical German name to give her then, but I don't know any.
Hans.
Helga.
Hans.
Hans. No, it's your nan. She's not going to be called Hans.
Adolf.
Herman.
Herman, yeah.
Hello, Herman. I am Klaus.
Is it Klaus? That's a good one. We're getting very borderline on being quite offensive here.
Well, I was just... that's a reference for people who may or may not get it.
I didn't get it.
I know you wouldn't get it. I know one person who will get it.
What, the one viewer we have? Is it Andy?
It's not Andy, no. Well, he might get it, but he's not who I'm thinking of.
We only have the one viewer. We've discussed this.
We have, actually, no. We have at least a dozen viewers now.
No, it's a bit weird. What is wrong with you people?
I know, and we keep saying viewers instead of listeners.
You could be viewing on YouTube. That's generally how we check our statistics because we keep forgetting the logins for all the other ones.
because the other ones just don't matter to us. You know what? Fuck you, Spotify listeners. We are not catering to you whatsoever.
We appreciate Spotify. It's just I don't remember the Spotify password, and every time I try to recover it, I set a new password and I forget it instantly. I get an email
Just like
once
you
a
do
week.
with your Origin
No.
account.
Yeah, shut up. I get an email once a month telling me how it does on actual podcast downloads, and we're growing each month. So thank you for everybody for that, and keep telling your friends.
Or don't.
Why
It's
are
up
we
to you.
No, it's not. It's a legal requirement.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna come and arrest you if you don't tell your friends about this auditory garbage that you consume each week.
Yes, you need to inform people so we'll get the appropriate help that we need.
Raise awareness, okay? For just £5 a week, James and I can
We can get those
buy
jackets. That let us hug
£5 worth of
ourselves.
fish. Oh yeah, cuddle jackets.
Cuddle jackets.
Self-cuddle jackets.
Oh, imagine me and you put a padded room together.
This is basically what would happen, James. This is me and you in a padded room together.
Well, that's, when we started this podcast, one of the reasons we started it was for that meme, which was women go to therapy, men start a podcast, and here we are, over a year later now. I know we had a little bit of a break, but
why was it you needed the therapy? You never told me.
life in the 20s.
Life in your mid-20s or
No,
the year 20s?
The year 20s, yeah.
Okay, right. Not the 1920s.
No, because that was the roaring 20s.
No,
What's this one gonna be
I know.
called?
Is
this to be the isolated 20s?
Probably.
The shit
It's
20s.
weird though, isn't it? Because like we used to, you would talk about talk about history and say in the 20s, meaning the 1920s,
Great Gatsby and all that.
forgetting that there has been so many other decades called
Yeah,
the 20s.
But obviously, between 1920 and 1820, it was a huge leap in life. It was industrial era and all that lot. There was a huge change in life. Whereas between the 1920s and now, yes, we've had more technology and all that lot, but the general way of living is very similar, isn't it?
That's not true at all, because globalization has been a thing in that time as well. So things have grown exponentially again.
Yeah, but it's
Right, okay. No, so Amazon are trialing delivering your package with a drone. If you're telling me things haven't changed as much,
let me try and say what I'm trying to say. I think
because
if I
you
remember
can't say
rightly, it was 1850. They reckon. But before that time, everybody worked to live. You had to work to be able to provide food, shelter, all that lot. You still do now, but at the same time, you don't. You work for, or some people work for enjoyment now. You can do a job you enjoy.
Billionaires.
No. But we have a choice on what job we could do. We could go.
You might have a choice, Mister. I've got a degree.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. You fix cars. I fix cars. You work for Mackey's now, but you could easily go get a job doing something else, couldn't you?
I could sidestep into doing a very similar job.
Well, no, you could go work at fucking Tesco's if you wanted.
Yeah, which is a very similar job.
You
It's
could be
just
a
a
delivery
retail
driver.
environment, which is a very similar job.
You could go do a fucking apprenticeship and start becoming a car mechanic.
I could, but I'm not gonna.
No, but you could. That's the thing. That's where the change is.
Yeah, I've
Whereas
got much more
before,
options.
Before, they reckon like 1850 is you did the job your parents did. You did the job you had to do. Whereas now you get to do the job you want to do, within reason. You get a choice on the job you can do.
I would like to be the owner of Amazon, please. Where do I apply for this job?
Well, I believe it's like a monarchy, and if you kill Jeff Bezos and sit in his phone, you can become.
You know, a bit regicide.
You know he's got death robots protecting him.
No, I bet he's not.
I bet
bet he's got like 1 or 2 bodyguards that are underpaid and don't care anyway.
You know those drones that are going to deliver your stuff? They're actually, you know how like obviously we've all got Alexa or Google or iPhones and Hey Siri and all that lot in our houses now.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening, and if they hear that you're going to go kill Mr. Bezos, the drones will kill you.
Well, you're the one that said it over and over on this podcast, so you're the one that's in trouble.
Have you watched Terminator?
Nope.
Of course you haven't. You know the idea behind Terminator, though, don't you?
Nope.
Self-aware machines,
Robot man kills
self-replicating. No, the idea behind Skynet is, which is like what the program was called that went haywire, is it was a self-learning algorithm, and it learned that the worst thing for this planet is humans, which it's not wrong. So it decided the best way to help save the planet was to kill all the humans, which again probably isn't wrong. And so it made more machines to kill robots, developed more machines that killed more humans, that developed more machines to kill more humans, and then there's time travel and stuff in the film. But that's the idea behind it. That's what's going to happen. Alexa is going to take over.
And it's all going to be Amazon's fault.
Are you ready to bow down to Alexa?
No.
Well, then you're going to be killed.
That's fine.
You're going to be in the first wave.
That's fine. You say, like, okay, so people, this point that people make, like, you know, you will die if you don't do this. Like, like when people say it hypothetically, you say it as if the sweet release of death won't just solve every single fucking problem I've got.
You wouldn't get to see your kids again.
I know, but at the same time, as harsh as this sounds, my dead body won't give a fuck.
Yeah, but your kids would. Well, actually,
My kids would, and I'm sorry for. Well, yeah, come on, right? No, I would be sorry.
You have life insurance
before, up until the point, up until the point that I die.
So Charlotte doesn't care.
I will feel sorry. No, exactly. Up until the point that I die, I will feel sorry for what I leave behind. Once I'm dead, fuck, I'm not. You don't even possess the ability to give a shit.
Though.
Okay, I don't have the possess to. Even if I could give a shit after death, I can't do anything to impact life retroactively. Then, what do you mean? I don't know that. If ghosts could properly impact life, then they would be much more prominent, and it wouldn't be a debate as to whether they're real or not.
But one of the things is, it has to be like that hidden hand. You know, when you're walking down the street, you suddenly get have I got the, or you like suddenly pause, you get a bit of sense of deja vu, and a car swings out in front of you and almost hits you. That was the ghost saving your life.
Okay, that literally never happened to me, okay?
Not
it's so rare.
But you get one of those moments you think, oh, hang on a sec, and then something bad happens. Just ghosts.
No, it's not.
I don't actually believe this. I need to specify.
I'm going to say, because first of all, these are weak arguments, because you're just talking about like coincidence, like, in the infinite possibilities that is this life.
But coincidence isn't a thing. It is all ghost effect.
Are you just chatting shit for the purposes of getting my blood pressure up?
Yes.
Okay,
you said you were sleepy
working
at the start of this, and I am waking you up now, aren't I? The rage is awakening inside you.
Yeah, the rage is awakening inside me. No, you see, now, it's just an interesting topic, really, though, this ghost thing, because it's unfalsifiable for the most part. When people say, oh, I saw a ghost, you can't just say, no, you didn't. They'll just say, well, you fucking weren't there. It's like, well, it's a good point.
I stalked you.
I was the ghost. No, it's a good argument. You know, I wasn't there. You're right. I can't disprove what you're saying just as much as you can't prove what you're saying to me. But what annoys me the most is that people will just ignore the most logical and reasonable answers in favour of saying, oh no, yeah, it was definitely a ghost. No one was touching it, I promise, even though there's like 55 of us in the room and the glass just broke. You know, oh my god,
Whoa. Do that again?
I don't know what I did.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No, it was just extremely feminine.
Oh right, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm a bit gay. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Feminine,
but
Pete.
the people.
It's the word you're supposed to use there.
Call it what you want. I am that. Yeah, I do get pissed off with people who because plenty of people do believe in it, and it's fine. You know, if you want to believe in it, that's okay. But please stop skipping over logical explanations before just going, well, it was ghosts. Well, it was ghosts. It must have been ghosts. It has to be ghosts. There's no other explanation. There is no other explanation. There's no reason that I just felt a cold chill that couldn't possibly have been the wind getting through somewhere in the middle of January. No. It was ghosts. I don't know. I just sort of...
Why did you go into, like, 16-year-old YouTuber accent?
Because that's the kind of person who tells me that ghosts are real. In my social circle, which is so vast.
It's YouTube.
You know? I don't know anybody who does YouTube. Actually, no, that's not true. I know a few people who do YouTube.
Hello.
Yeah, hello if you're listening.
We do YouTube, Pete.
We don't count. We're not proper YouTubers.
I did the 2022 content survey the other day.
Oh, did you now?
90% of it was not applicable. It's like, have you used the YouTube Creative Suite? No. How did you find the YouTube Creative Suite? Not applicable. What was your experience of the YouTube Creative Suite? Not applicable.
It's not very good.
Well, I had that for like 30 questions, and then it was, have you had, how has your complaint resolution been with YouTube? Not applicable. How quick was the reply? Not applicable. It's just fucking 90% of it was not applicable. How easy is it to upload a video? Very easy.
It is very easy, actually.
That was basically the only answer I gave. I'm like, I have done my bit for YouTube. They gave me a 3 months YouTube Premium for that as well.
I would not pay for YouTube Premium.
But
I can't justify it.
Would you like to hear me out why I do? You don't listen to music, do you, that much?
No, actually, no. Okay, here's why I won't pay for YouTube Premium. The main reason I won't pay for it is because on my old phone I use Android, so what?
I said yarp.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said stop.
Stop.
In
the
continue.
name of love.
Oh, God, here he goes. I had for a while a Vince Vet playlist, the guy who does the music for the intro. I had about. People have heard it. It's okay. At this point, they've already heard it. Don't just relax. Anyway, he's got a very, very large music library, and I had a playlist of his that I used to listen to in the car, and the built-in music player on the phone that I had, which was a Huawei, would play it for me. And then I think it was just like Google Play Music. It was just just a standard stuff. But then they closed Google Play Music and said, "Oh, we've moved it all to YouTube Music now." And I thought, well, okay, whatever. You want to change your rebrand, whatever, you do your thing. But then it turns out it follows the same rules as YouTube, where I can't play music with my screen locked unless I get YouTube Premium. And I'm not going to be strong-armed into paying for a function I already had that you then took away and stuck behind a fucking paywall.
Should be able
It's
to play
absolutely
music still
bollocks.
on the phone without it.
Well, I could, but I had to rewind the update because they updated it to be like a dead app.
A player on there. It's just probably called something different now.
I checked. There was no other player on there. I downloaded a third-party one.
So you might have to sort. I'm sure they brought back another Google one where you could, because people would like make their own music and stuff, wanted to play it, which wasn't on YouTube and similar, or on Google Play and all that lot. They've lost the option, so I'm pretty sure Google had to put it back. I could be wrong on that.
Well, they might have put it back since, but this was like a year and a half ago or something. And at that point, I just thought, "Fuck you! I am not paying you for that." Like, what kind of business operation is that? Oh, that thing you've been doing with your phone for a couple of years? Well, you're going to have to pay to do it now. Sorry. Even though it's like a very basic function of smart devices, like just it is absolutely baffling.
You'd rather go buy like an MP3 player than pay YouTube.
I genuinely would, yeah. Only because of like shitty business practice like that. It's absolute bollocks. Yeah, what sort of wanker does that?
I'm pretty sure, like 80% sure, they did not a rollback as such, but they released another way to do it, which isn't YouTube. So you can have it as a normal player.
Well, I'm not going to give them praise for that. To then have to scurry around and think, oh fuck, look what we've done.
It was actually quite a small minority of people that had the problem like you.
Yeah, but that's not the point, is it?
But the reason they did it is the majority of people these days do use streaming apps. But then, is it worth maintaining an app which not that many people are using?
They don't have to maintain it. As long as it's got the ability to play MP3 files, they don't have to do anything with it.
They would have to maintain it because when you update the phones and update new software, new OSs, you have to update all the base apps as well.
It's not gonna, but it's not gonna be much work, is it? Just the amount of fucking bloatware they put on these phones these days, the amount of apps that they actually keep up to date that nobody fucking uses.
Most of them these days aren't Google.
No, but that's the point. It doesn't even have to be like maintained by Google, then, does it? Just an MP3 player on your phone, maintained by the company that makes your phone. Well, and then I shout at the phone company, stop being fucking lazy and assuming that Google are going to do the groundwork.
Not at Google then.
But Google did that thing originally to me.
Because people weren't using it.
But obviously they were if they've had to like scurry around and bring the functionality back.
Well, that many were using it, shall we say?
Enough for them to go back and fix it.
I believe there was something along the lines of it was a third-party app that Google bought. Because it was easier. Acquired when acquiring other stuff and went, let's put it in.
But it's still a shitty business practice because what they're trying to do and what they were hoping to do and what they probably were successful in doing was getting a few people to just cave and think, oh, fuck it, I'll just pay for this because it's easier. So they then squeeze money out of people for no reason. And I don't think that's good business practice because you're not selling someone a useful product there. You're taking away a product that they already had and then paying for the... It's exactly the same way they've made The Sims. What they do is they strip features, they take away what you used to be able to do, they take away the fun parts, they hang on to the things that people give really positive feedback onto, pull it out of the game for the next release and then sell it back to you as DLC or an add-on or something like that. It's absolutely fucking despicable.
That's just EA in general.
But yeah, but the thing is it works and it makes the money and then other people follow suit and then you end up with companies doing these shitty things just because another company has done the shitty thing. Another great example of this sort of business practice is somebody was talking about, I can't remember who it was, but I'll just explain the situation. Somebody was renting an office, and they were paying £400-500 a month to rent this office space, and then the landlord approaches them and says, "I'm as of such a month, I'm upping the rent from here to £1,200 a month." And then the person says, well, that's a huge increase. Why are you doing that? Oh, because the people next door are paying that much. So I want to charge that much as well. And it's just absolute shit. It's like your property isn't worth more just because the person next door said theirs is worth more.
But then
you can't just ask for money like that and not justify it. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Because if they had it done to them, you'd kick up a fuss.
They would, granted. But then at the same time, if on that office situation, say the first client leaves and the new client comes in willing to pay the 1,200, are you not a bit stupid to not have 3 times the amount of money coming in?
The person willing to pay the 1,200 is stupid in that case.
Yeah, but then, especially like
if you just keep saying yes and paying it, because if people just keep saying yes and paying for it, I mean, fair enough, it might be less money to someone who can afford it, but then people who do need those cheap things can't afford them. So you're pricing people out of having a business space.
Capitalism.
Yeah, but I know, but it's shitty though, isn't it? It's a shitty thing to do.
It is, but at the same time, I just don't bother getting annoyed about it because there's fuck all we can do about it.
Well, no, that's not true at all, actually, because the nicer you are to people, the nicer people are to other people, and it's all about being greedy and horrible and selfish.
The nicer they are
Whereas if you're nice,
the nicer you are to people until someone puts money on the table, and money changes people.
Does it? Does it have to?
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to, but it does. I don't have any money.
Would it change you?
Most likely, yes. I'd hate to say it, but most likely. I wouldn't. I'd like to think I wouldn't go as bad as some people do, but I'm
speaking as someone who's declined promotions at work and stuff like that because the money isn't worth it to me.
This is the thing: is there is a reason rich people are rich.
Because they're assholes?
You don't get there by being nice. No matter what anyone tells you.
That's not entirely true, though, is it? You don't know that for sure.
Well, you don't know in a business point of view, not from winning the lottery or from YouTube or from
a business point of view, though, you don't know they've got there by not being nice.
Ask anybody who's a very well-off businessman, and they'll admit they've done shady things, and they've bought people out, and they've cut people out, and all that sort of rubbish. Because they have to, because that's the only way to make money in the modern world.
But then you look at it from, like, you know, a neutral third-party perspective, and then this person's done all this shady stuff to end up with more money than they need.
Yeah, granted, they do. But
then what have they done it for? Because, like, getting rich surely has diminishing returns at a certain point. So, like, let's say, like, you're living on the breadline, and then suddenly you get an extra £2,000 a year. That makes you happier because it's better. It makes life a bit less stressful. And then you get an extra £2,000 a year, and things get great. I can afford to go on holiday this year. Then you get another £2,000 a year, and you think, well, I guess I can, I don't know, maybe buy a new car. I guess maybe this year. And then you get another £2,000, and you think, well, maybe I'll get a cocaine addiction because I've got some money now.
I think your money. I think short of 10 million. People are always going to be happier. Once you hit about that 10 million,
short of 10 million, I don't think it's that high. I think if you hit like 70,000 a year in your job, then the diminishing returns hit.
I don't. You can't buy high-end cars for that.
But you don't need high-end cars.
You don't need them. People do like them.
But yeah, but this is what I was going to try and touch upon there, was that once you reach, like, I mean, like, if you earn 30 grand a year, you're going to be pretty comfortable. But after that, to spend your money, you have to start.
You can't buy a house at that down here.
Well, you can up here, so fucking move north if you're that bothered. But no, what I'm saying is, like, you get to a point where your money starts going on luxuries and the
luxuries
unnecessary
tend to make
things.
People happy. It's like,
yeah, but that has diminishing returns. So, like,
it does, but I don't think the diminishing returns start a lot higher than you expect.
No, I don't. Well, I think my diminishing returns have started now, and I earn fuck all compared to most people.
Are you saying you wouldn't like a nicer car, a nicer house?
I love my house. I don't see any reason to have anything more than I've got with my house.
Nicer holidays?
I don't like going on holiday.
Well, you're the exception, Pete. You're the weird
Okay,
one.
but let's talk about the things that I do like. I like to paint miniatures, but I've got more than enough to paint.
Yes, but
I like to play video games, and I've got more video games than I could possibly play in the next 20 years. I like having a decent computer, and I've got it now. You know what I mean? But these aren't the things, like, they're my hobbies, but they're not the things that contribute to me having a happy life, and I'm well aware of that.
they are, but the majority of people would like more holidays.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying about people just getting.
But the majority of people being holidays, people like still being vaguely sensible. A nice holiday, a good holiday, but nothing in particular crazy. You can easily roll into the 3, 4, 5 grand.
Yeah.
Well,
but this is what I'm saying. Like,
that's a lot of money.
I could spend 500 quid and be gone for 7 days and be happy with that.
Yeah, but then at the same time, would you not like to go to Disneyland? Well, you might not.
No,
you don't like
actually,
time.
no.
Would you
I
not
would
take your
yeah,
kids
I
to
would,
Disneyland.
No, because that sounds like even more work. Like, that's more work.
But you know
not
what?
only am I in somewhere that I don't like, I've then got to keep a very close eye on my kids somewhere I don't like.
You know what I'm getting at. You're a bit exception, but majority of people would love to take their kids to Disneyland, Florida, on that once in a people call it a once in a lifetime holiday, don't they?
Yeah, but you could afford that on like 40 grand a year.
You're gonna have to save a bit.
Yeah, but that's fine. You should have to
But
save
that's what
for
I'm saying.
things like
but
that.
But then, majority of people would like to go every year, and they'd enjoy it every year.
Why would you go every year? That would be
Because
so boring.
They'd enjoy it.
But would they though?
Yes.
Would you enjoy that every year?
I wouldn't enjoy doing Disney, but I'd like going to the Caribbean every year.
I think you'd find that if you went there 10 years in a row, it would lose its charm.
Okay, so I'll go for 5 years, then I'll go to Bali for the next 5 years. I'll go to Australia. I'll go to have a look around America. I'll go to Canada.
But then what else are you doing with your money?
I'm going to buy nice cars. I like cars. I like to live in comfort cars.
What point does that have diminishing returns?
They
and then
get
you need
new
a more
cars every
expensive...
year.
No, I know, but then you need to spend more money on the new car and then more money
exactly,
on the new
which
car.
is why I said the limit
Each
until
time,
you start getting to the point where you're not getting happy. There is a diminishment, yes, but the money not making you happier is about 10 million, I reckon.
No, I don't think it's that high at all.
Because at that, you're going to buy an incredibly nice house in the UK. Generally, you're being stupid and having a big driveway and a big garden and like 6 bedrooms and a pool and all that shit. You're talking 2-3 million.
Is that really the dream house though?
I would love a pool. One of the places I stayed at when I was at uni, I stayed there for like 6 months.
All right,
like
you could get.
I liked a pool. It was nice.
You could get a house with a pool for like 350,000.
It was a nice pool. I also want a big driveway and a big garage.
For 350,000, you could have a big garage, a pool, a nice driveway.
What are you considering a big garage?
4 or 5 cars?
More like 6 or 7 at least. And I don't want want them close to each other.
So spend another 20k on building a garage in your big old piece of land.
I don't think you're getting, unless you're getting it really in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, because I'd like to be near people when I do it, because I like people and not you. I don't think you're getting, unless the north is a lot cheaper than I realise. I know it's cheaper up there, because it's not that cheap, is it?
It's much cheaper than down
here,
yeah.
To get a 4-bed, a reasonably sized 4-bed house with a decent garden.
Hang on a second. Let's just talk in relatable terms here.
Let me just.
How much would it cost for you to get a 2-bed terrace?
2-bed terrace here. Jess got one, a really small one, 140.
Okay, so around here you're looking at about 65.
Exactly. But as I was saying, to get somewhere down here, a decent 4-bed with okay gardens and like a 3-car garage, you're pushing 3/4 of a mil.
That's just because of a case of where you live then.
But then, basically anywhere south of London is like that. But this is the nice part of the country. I don't care. I like this part of the country. We're not having this argument again.
I like this part of the country. It's colder. The people don't talk to you. It's wonderful.
But I like people. But anyway, so down here, in reality, to get the house, like a dream house, you're looking at least $1.5 million, if not up to 3. And that's not going.
What if I told you?
That's not going crazy, ridiculous, having fucking cinemas and all sorts. I don't want that.
What if I told you that my little 2-bed terrace is my dream house?
That's perfectly fine for you, but you are not the majority of people, Pete.
No, but at the risk of sounding like a knobhead, I think I should be the majority of people. I think that people should be happier with having what they
But then-
need rather than wanting. No, because
But
no,
no, hang on,
like
whoa,
you
whoa,
said-
whoa, whoa. For people who don't have a, like right now, I don't have my dream house. I'm not sad about it. I'm not unhappy. I would just like that more. That's the difference.
Okay.
Is I'm not unhappy. I'm not going, oh fuck's sake, I haven't got my own pool. They haven't got two McLarens in the driveway and the Bugatti's in the fucking shop again. Oh my god!
oh,
But at the
okay,
end,
so
but I still like
my
that.
my Bugatti's in the shop again.
It took you a
That got
second,
me.
that one, didn't it?
I'm tired.
So,
So do you think that people should be constantly aiming upwards from that?
people
so
are
am I
constantly
wrong?
aiming upwards.
I know, but do you think they should be?
If that's what you want to do, then do it. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it.
I
I have nothing against you for being happy as you are. That's perfectly acceptable. There is no problem with that. I want a race car in the driveway.
Okay, that's fine. I hope you're not sad if you don't get it, though.
No, race cars easy to get. Race cars like $3 or $4 grand. That's within reason. It's not a good race car.
It's going to say what sort of race are you hoping to win with that one?
Obviously, like track days and that sort of thing, and amateur events and all that lot. They're not done in supercars because the amateur people don't have supercars.
Well, exactly, yeah. And if
You
you
do
do
it-
have a supercar, you're not going to take it to the track.
You do it in your 2-litre Golf. The only people that take supercars to the track have multiple supercars.
Yeah, because if they crash one, it's not going to matter to
I
them.
would like multiple supercars so I could take a supercar to the track. I've driven
you got
supercars
a
on the
plan?
track. It is extremely fun. This podcast is my plan, mate, so I'm fucked.
Oh, for fun. That's putting all your eggs in a basket that's got no bottom to it.
I fix cars as well. The thing is, my plan is working as I am now, and it's not pleasant to say, but when one of my grandparents pop my clogs and I get a bit of money that way so I can get a deposit, I can buy a...
Wow.
It's the only way I'm ever going to be able to buy a house in the current climate.
That's shocking. Yeah, actually, no, it's not the only way. It's not. I'll pitch you another idea here. You might not like it, but it would work. You can move north and start on the
want to
property
move
ladder.
north.
Shut the fuck up while I explain this to you. You can move north and start on the property ladder much cheaper and work your way up that way.
You can, granted, but if you sell your, whatever it's, 60 grand property up north, you can just about get the deposit down here.
Yeah, but I would do it in increments then, wouldn't I? So I'd sell the 60 grand property.
I don't want to start
and then
in Newcastle and then like go down. Oh, I'm in Leeds now. Oh, now I'm in, I don't know, Birmingham. I've now made it to Northamptonshire. Right, I can finally get to
like
Plymouth. I'm going to be
it wouldn't
60
take-
by the time I get back home. It's a fucking long
Right, it wouldn't
commute
take
from
that
Newcastle
many
to Plymouth.
steps, though, would it?
It's
It wouldn't take that many steps, though, would it? So if you sold your 60 grand house, you'd have a deposit for a 300 grand house.
It's an
Then you sell that,
extremely long
and then
way.
you've got your deposit.
From Newcastle to Plymouth to commute.
It is an extremely long way. It feels like forever driving from here to Newcastle, and I'm way closer.
It took me like 6 hours to drive to your area last time I did, so I had 6 hours to that journey.
Well, no, it's only like 2.5 from here.
Yeah, it's probably about 7 to 8 from here, yeah. 16 hours. I'm not going to make it home. If I lived in Newcastle and worked Plymouth, I wouldn't make it home.
No, okay,
I'd get halfway there and turn around and go back. I'm fucking
The plan
knackered.
The plan wasn't meaning for you to continue at your current job whilst you
I
move
have a good
north,
job.
James. You would get, well, you could get that job at the same rate of pay up here, and just hear me out. We have shitter cars here, so
That's not a good thing. I don't like
It
working
is.
on shit cars.
Well, unfortunately, James, working on shit cars is what keeps your business going.
No, it's not. We don't want
Yes,
your
it
crappy
is.
car. No, it's not.
People have to pay to get the shitty cars fixed. That's what keeps your business
We
ticking
make
over.
more money fitting brakes than we do fitting an engine. Fitting a clutch and rebuilding the top of an engine, we make maybe 30, 40 quid profit. Takes 3 days if we're like rebuilding the top of an engine. I can fit brakes on a BMW. We can make 30 quid profit on that, and it takes me half hour.
You do realise that there's a hell of a lot of BMWs driving around up here too.
Yeah, but they're all rusted.
No, actually, they're all like 70 reg as well. I just coming home from work today. Actually, I was wedged. There was 4 BMWs, 2 in front, 2 behind, and they were all 70 reg.
And none of them had indicators on.
No, not one of them. We got to a roundabout, and the only
No
person
fucking
who was
clue what's going
signaling was me. Yeah, my little Suzuki Vitara between them there was indicating.
Hey, you have a Suzuki Grand Vitara, don't you?
I don't. It's a Suzuki Vitara.
It's
that's
the
all I
blue
know.
one, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it's a blue
That's
one.
the Grand Vitara. That's not a little car. You said you're little. That's not a little
Okay,
car.
no. Okay, it's basically a Suzuki Swift on a bigger chassis, though. That's all it is.
It may be, but it's not a little car.
It's not. Okay, it's got a little engine compared to the BMWs.
Not
that were around
necessarily.
me.
You get 1 litre BMWs now.
These were definitely not 1 litre BMWs.
You get BMWs with no litres.
With no, oh well, yeah, electric ones. I was going to ask how then. I felt, I immediately kicked myself then. What do you mean no litres, you wanker?
I was doing what I always do and looking at car stuff last night, and I found the new car I want.
Is it an electric one?
It's 7 litres.
Oh Jesus Christ! What car's that?
It's a one-off Aston Martin they made.
Oh yeah, because that's within your price range.
It's only 4 million.
Oh well, it's pocket money. That. Why don't you go and get 2? Get me one as well.
They're only making 1.
No. We'll clone it. We'll 3D print the next ones.
7 litre V12. I love it.
I mean, all I understand of that is that higher numbers means better, right? Or louder, or faster.
All of the above. Your car has 4 cylinders. This has 12.
But what does that mean?
The cylinders are the bits where the piston goes up and down and makes power.
Okay.
So you have 4 and a 1.6.
Oh no, this is a 1.1.
Yours is 1. Fucking hell, is the baby one. So yeah. So yours has 4 cylinders making 1.1. They have 12 cylinders with 7 litres. So the pistons are bigger as well.
I must stress that it's not even my car. It's
Charlotte's, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't own a car. I've never owned a car.
Yeah, but Charlotte can't
Oh no,
drive.
that's not true. No, she can't. So she's had 3 cars as well.
So in reality, it's your car. You're the only person that drives it.
I am the only person who drives it. Yeah, I've done a hell of a lot of driving for someone who doesn't have a car.
For insurance reasons, do you state that you're the main driver?
Yeah, I say that I'm the main
must
driver,
do.
but she's the registered keeper.
Okay. Do you know that puts your insurance up?
Is it?
It'd be cheaper to put you as the registered keeper, and it'd probably lower your insurance a bit.
Well, I mean, we don't pay that much insurance anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Okay. Save some more money though. No good
It'd be
pissing
the
money
case
away
of
for
like
no reason.
five. It would be like £5 a month.
Well,
You know,
well,
I'm not going to piss her out for that.
Oh, that's 60 quid a year, mate.
Oh bloody hell!
Think
I broke the bank.
Think how many madrasses you could buy for 60 quid.
Okay, now you're talking my language. This is the sort of conversion rate that I need. I got a pay rise actually. I just it's worth. Just on the note of 60 quid a year.
Was it half a madras they raised you? Oh, look at madras.
I haven't done the conversion to curry yet, but I had my. Now, here's a weird fact.
What's your curry per hour, mate?
the CPH of any job.
Oh, I'll get a bucket and a spoon.
What? What is this? Okay, now we're in Happy Feet measurements. Yeah, this is Happy's measurements. This, he'll be so pleased to hear you.
Curry, would you measure by litre or kilo?
Mouthful, I think. I don't know.
I get 400 mouthfuls of curry a week, and my shit is like rain.
All right. So anyway, what the point I was trying to make is that
That's too much curry.
Under my old boss, I didn't get my annual performance review because. Well, mostly because I didn't take the feedback on board, and he said there was no point doing it, which is true. He would say like, "You're good at this, you're not good at this," and I'll say, "Yeah, I know," and that was it.
Yeah, I know.
And then what he used to do is he used to text me and say, I've written your review out. Do you want to sit down and go through it? And I'll say, no, you're all right. My current boss doesn't want to do that, which is admirable, really. You know,
Wants to do his job.
I've worked with him for almost as long as well, so he knows exactly what I'm like as well. You know, and this makes me sound like a terrible employee. I do a decent job. I just, I know that I do a decent job. I've been doing it long enough. I do an okay job. Anyway,
you've not stolen me my nuggets yet. You do a bad job.
In your opinion, which doesn't count.
It counts to me.
So he sent me my performance review, which is now sent to us online for us to review. And then if you want to sit down with them and discuss it, you can do. But I just read it. I know, so I struggled. But what it does have is it grades you. Yeah, basically it becomes a tick box exercise, and the manager will tick the boxes that he thinks that you achieve regularly, and don't tick the ones that you don't achieve. That makes perfect sense to why I'm explaining that bit. And then you get a total marks, and then between each mark range, so you can be scored 1 to 4, and it's obviously got like 0 to 20 is 1, which means you don't do your job very well, and then something like 36 to 40 or something is the top one. And I got a really good score, which I was baffled by, because I actually I know that I do an okay job, but I definitely don't give as much as I could.
You do the
job,
the bare minimum to get away with it.
Well, not to get away with it. I do the bare minimum to make my life easier, which, as it turns out, judging by the tick boxes, is way more than most people are doing. So
you do the minimum required, which is all you should actually need to do in a job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do what I am paid to do. So there were a few things like I go and open the restaurant. So and then I sit in the kitchen for the whole morning. That's my role. So I get there at 4 o'clock in the morning. I speak to a very bare minimum of customers, because by the time we get customers, people have come in who worked at front, so that they talk to them, and I'm only needed if there's a problem.
The less troll-like people.
So, yeah, pretty much. So the one of the boxes that wasn't ticked for me was that I don't spend time engaging with the customers, which is fair. I don't, because I don't really need to.
And don't want to.
Well, I don't mind, to be honest. When I'm at work, oh God, that I had a madras before, which is why I'm measuring it, and I'm burping it up again now. Yeah, I don't mind talking to customers. When I'm at work, I'm much more what's the word? Sociable. I'm much more sociable, because I'm being paid to be so. Yeah, I would.
If I offer you a curry a year, would you be more sociable?
No.
2 curries.
No, you
and
have to pay me my current hourly rate.
2 curries and a
naan bread. Okay, now, yeah, we're getting a bit more
Peshwari
towards
naan.
my price.
Oh, keema naan even.
Keema naan. Now you. Oh God, I'm hungry again. For God's sake.
With some sagaloo and some pilau rice.
James, it's 9 o'clock at night. I can't be eating now. I have to be up very early. I'll have heartburn and I won't sleep.
Sounds like a you problem. I'm just going to start.
You sound like Perry. That's what Perry said all last time. These guests are having a bad influence on you.
I can't remember what we were talking about before we went down that path.
I don't know. When do we ever plan what we're talking about? James, I never asked you what you've been doing in the week since we last spoke.
Worked.
Same.
I went to the driving range today.
And you sent me a picture of your crotch while you were there.
You asked for nudes.
No. You said you were going to send nudes. I said no, thank you, and you sent them anyway.
Subscribed.
No, you said no. Okay. Stop digging holes for me.
Pete likes getting dick pics from people. Just everyone email Pete dick pics.
Oh God, no! How do I explain that to Charlotte if that starts happening?
Charlotte takes her phone. I'm having this, please. No,
it's a good job nobody listens, actually, on that note.
One day, when we're famous, people will go back and listen to this, and suddenly you'll just get an influx.
Oh, God, no. You know what? I'm so lucky that I will never get famous from any of the content I create, because at some point, if I ever did get famous, people would find this podcast. Yeah, it would be found. And then all the things I've said, I would get death threats, I'll be getting dick pics, I'll be getting crotch shots, I'll be getting everything. And it would be at a point where I've completely forgotten we've said it all, and it would be so out of context that I have no idea what's going on.
Sounds like heaven, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't sound like heaven. It sounds like a dementia-riddled time for me. I don't even know what I mean by that. That was just words coming out of my mouth.
Words from your mouth.
Yes, I'm trying to keep on brand.
You got it wrong though. You said words came from your mouth.
Words from... Go fuck yourself, James.
Words from facehole.
Yeah. Noise from gob. That's our alternate podcast if you want to find that.
Articulated sounds from facehole.
Oh my goodness, you're getting a bit syllabally.
A bit southern.
A bit, yeah, get your fancy language out of here. while I deep fry this Mars bar.
Sorry, I had deep throat.
Deep fry this Mars bar. Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's going to deep throat a Mars bar if you send him dick pics.
So, I know that you joke about it a lot, but are you genuinely hoping to get famous from podcasts?
It'd be nice.
It would be nice. And do you think that we deserve it based on the level of content we create?
If people find us entertaining, then yes. I find doing it entertaining. Therefore, people might find
not the
listening to
same thing.
People might find listening to it entertaining. And who knows?
Okay. And if
remember,
it does
listeners,
happen...
if you spread this enough, James can buy a race car. We're not going to be like other people on YouTube going, oh, I'm so grateful that I can afford to live because of you guys. No, we're just going to spend it on shit and probably continue doing our normal jobs.
I will continue doing my normal
all
job.
You're doing
I don't think
is feeding Pete to buy miniatures and me to buy race cars.
Yeah, there's nothing in it for you guys. I'll be honest.
Except our entertainment and
our entertainment,
our undying. What's it called when you're grateful? Gratefulness?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Our undying gratitude and love.
Also, if you hang around on our Discord, there's always a chance that you'll be on as a guest as well. Because let's be honest, we don't know famous people.
I met Dame Kelly Holmes once.
And is that a podcast guest then?
I can ask her. I don't know how I'd ask her.
You can try.
I met her halfway up a climbing wall once. I think it was Kelly Holmes.
What? Halfway up a climbing wall?
It was a very weird week.
I don't think we have time for this explanation.
It's not that weird. I went into my Gold Duke of Edinburgh. And when you do gold, you have to walk in somewhere, or do your expedition, sorry. Doesn't have to walk in, you can kayak or horse ride or whatever, but we did walking. Somewhere you're not experienced with. Because by the time it came up to gold, I know pretty much most of Dartmoor. I can stand anywhere on Dartmoor and work out where I am by all the features and stuff, because there's lots of tours on Dartmoor. And you can normally see Plymouth and Torquay and Tavistock, and you can work it out from there as well. So you have to do it somewhere you don't know, is part of the point of it. So we went to Snowdonia, and we walked around Snowdon and all that lot. So we get up there on... It's like 2 a.m. Have I told my virginity loss story on the podcast?
Oh my god, this took a weird turn.
Because it's the same day.
Was it on the climbing wall?
No. I might have to share that story at another point if we haven't yet. But basically, we got picked up at 2 a.m. I was steaming drunk. And...
You're really going to tell people the story of how you lost your virginity?
It's hilarious. Have you not heard the story before, Pete?
I don't know. You've told me a lot of things.
I might have to tell you it next week, and we'll go from there then. But anyway, so we went up to Wales. It was like 2 a.m. We got there. By the time we got there, it was on a coach and all that. Like, we had to pick people up on the way. It was with the air cadets I did it with. And we got there at like 7 in the morning. And so they were like, right, so let's get our kit unpacked and all that lot. And everyone
Sorry, I'm trying not to laugh because you said 7 in the day.
I was aware of what I said. I was trying to ignore it. And
it's just so stupid.
So
I'm sorry.
We got our kit unpacked. We did a kit checks. We got the tents up to make sure they're okay, make sure the cooker's okay, make sure we have plenty of gas, food, all that sort of thing.
And this was about time on the clock, yes?
Yeah, this got to about 12 in the morning-afternoon joint period. That was deliberate, that one.
I know, but it still got me.
And then, so the instructors were like, right, so we're ready to start your expeditions tomorrow. It's a 4-day expedition. We did 122 miles over the 4 days walking. So it was a long walk we had planned. They were like, right, it's lunchtime. Should we go climb Snowdon this afternoon? We were all like, sorry, what? I want to relax. I've been in a fucking coach all morning. But it was decided we'd go climb Snowdon, which is obviously the highest mountain in Wales, second highest in the...
It doesn't sound like it was a unanimous decision.
It wasn't. It was the staff decision to say, everyone get in the minibus. So, okay, then. And it was, so we were like, okay, right, we'll go climb Snowdon. It wasn't the first time I'd climbed Snowdon. I've done it like 8-9 times now. In reality, just a normal family with some sensible shoes can climb Snowdon in 2 hours. You can actually get a train up to the top of it as well, but that doesn't count. But going up the footpath takes about 2 hours. We went the slightly more awkward route, going up one of the ridges, which took us about 3 hours up, and we came down via the path, which took us like an hour and a half, because obviously we're all very experienced walkers at this point. So we then by the time we'd done that, we were only like an hour away from our place. We got back to our place at like 8 in the evening, perfectly fine, had some food. Went to bed.
Saying the words experienced walker. Now I understand what you mean.
In the walker.
First of all, yeah. First and
Hiker,
foremost, I understand what you mean. But yeah, but saying experienced walker is the same as saying like I'm a former child.
Hiker, is that a better term?
Yeah, hiker's a better term, but
Experienced
I knew what
hikers.
you meant by experienced walker. Hey, if you're not experienced with walking, you can walk somewhere that you don't know where you end up. That wasn't even a coherent sentence.
No, it
I don't know
wasn't.
what's going on right now.
But anyway, carry on my story. We went off, did our 4-day expedition. We can tell the story on that if you want as well, because there were some weird things happened during that. You get very bored when you're walking for 4 days. And then we got back from that. And obviously, we just done 122, I think we did in the end, yeah. In 4 days. As well as climbing Snowdon the day before. We were knackered, as you'd imagine. All we wanted to do was, you get there, you take your shoes off, put flip-flops on because your feet are too busy steaming because they've been so hot and sweaty. And then you like stuff your boots with newspapers so they can dry out. You take the tents out so they can dry out, all that lot. And then what you want to do is sit there, eat a lot of carbohydrates because you're hungry, drink a lot of water, and nap. That's all you want to do for after that event, about 48 hours. So it came to, so then obviously we got back. I think we got in like 4. By the time we were all ready and tidied up and kit squared away for just so it's drying, etc., it was getting to like 6. We had a big roast dinner cooked for us by the staff. And then we all pretty much fell asleep instantly because it was the first time on a solid bed, not in a fucking camping roll bit of foam thing and a tent. It's fucking uncomfortable as shit. So we then get up the next morning, then we get woken up at like fucking 8:30, which was way too early considering all the shit we've been doing the last few days. And they were like, come in, have breakfast. We were like, sit down, we're eating toast and shit. And they're like, right, today, do you want to go kayaking or climbing? And we're all there like, no, we don't want to do either of that. Like, well, come on, we're off on this, we've got this adventure training site, we've got access to all these facilities. What do you want to do? And we're all like, sleep. We've just walked for fucking 122 miles over 4 days. We would like to sleep because there was like 8 teams there. So there was 6 in a team. 8 times 6 is bad math. What's 8 times 6, Pete? Why the fuck can't I work this out?
You can't ask me to do maths at this time of night.
8 times 6 is 48. So there's like 48.
So why are we both so bad at this? We should really like do this on a day off work.
Sunday is the only day I have off.
Yeah, we should reschedule for Sunday so that we both have energy.
But no.
Oh, okay.
I like doing it on Mondays. It makes Monday a better day.
Oh, that's sweet.
It means I've got so much shit I've got so much a depressing evening that the day feels fine.
Okay, yeah, that I can buy that.
But yeah, anyway, so they were like, yeah, we're going to either go kayaking or water climbing. So we worked out in the end, climbing is the least amount of effort because we knew we were going to a centre for climbing, not just a rock outside. So only like 2 or 3 people can climb I think it was 4 people could climb at a time. So we only actually had to climb for like half hour in total. But we were there all day, so we could just nap in the corner. But yeah, so
nice.
It was my turn to climb. I was climbing half at this rock and I was stuck. It was quite an awkward climbing centre. I used to do a lot of climbing, and I was like, I couldn't go any further. And then this person to the left of me was just like, because I was like, I couldn't see above me properly because of the angle I was at. They were like, if you put your right hand up another 2 inches, there's a handhold there you could probably use to pull higher. I was like, oh, thanks. Grabbed it, pulled off, went off, carried on climbing, came it down. And afterwards, I was getting the harness off, and the person that had been told me this had already gone. They're like, oh, yeah, that was Dame Kelly Holmes. I'm like, oh, okay, then.
Oh, so there you go.
That was my experience meeting her.
You didn't really meet her then, did you?
No.
You heard her voice.
Well, I could see her, but I don't recognise people, so. But it was just like,
Well,
that was Dame
just
Kelly
because
Holmes. I'm like, oh, okay.
Were you a little bit starstruck afterwards?
I was just a bit like, oh, that's not what I expected at a random little climbing centre in Wales.
No, it is an odd place to meet someone like that.
Yeah. It got great, actually.
Okay, so you touched upon a walking story there.
Just one,
doing your
one
walking
more
and stuff.
stupid thing that got stupid about this whole event.
Oh, okay.
It was the next morning. We were all outside at like 10 o'clock with all our kit, all bags all managed to get vaguely packed together and just bin bags full of other bits. Still waiting for the coach. I guess about 10:30 and we're like, should have been here by now. Gets to 11. The fuck is this coach? Gets to 12. We're getting hungry by this point. So most of us, but they'd already like locked the centre and set the alarm. They didn't want to let us back in because it would make the place messy again. So at this point, we're sat in the car park getting our camping stoves back out. I I was like, no, you don't do that. I was like, we're hungry, fuck off. It got to about 2 o'clock before they got a phone call from the bus company. The bus had broken down in Devon still.
Oh, wow.
They only just told us, and it wasn't going to be able to come today. They're like, okay, when can you get another coach out? I think this was like the Friday. They were like, Tuesday, because it was bank holiday weekend coming up. So we were like, no. There's a lot of us. I was 16 at the time. I had a job. We all had. We were at school with some holidays, but I had a job. Most of us had jobs to get to. It was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. They were like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. They hung up on the staff. And we were like, oh, the staff were like, what the fuck do we do? So in the end, they phoned up like Connect people and all that lot, and we got train passes from the RAF. Except
nice.
You've got to remember, I have a walking bag, 2 rucksacks or 2 suitcases, and a load of other shit random. We probably had enough basically to fill, because it was a coach and a minibus which were coming, and the minibus had all the kit jammed in the back. The coach had all the kit jammed in the bottom, and they were still sitting on stuff inside the coach because we just had so much kit to be doing an expedition like this. And obviously,
And you had to cart it all to the nearest train station.
we had to get it all to the nearest train station. So we was walking there. The thing is, one of the reasons we had so much kit like spread out is because we were still trying to dry sleeping bags and tents. It's Wales. It pissed it down the whole time. All our coats are wet, all our clothing's wet, so they're all like draped out trying to dry. So we're trying to walk down the road because there was no way to get us to the nearest train station. Trying to stuff tents in a bag because the train's leaving in 10 minutes, and we have to get from there. We had to get to Birmingham to from where we were to Cardiff to Birmingham to Bristol to Plymouth. I get into Plymouth and I'm like, right, okay. And this is when I suddenly remembered my parents, or it was like we were in Bristol, everyone's starting to phone their parents saying we need picking up from the train station in 2 hours or whatever. And I went, my parents are away.
Oh.
Because we were getting in at like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, and they'd gone away at like 11 o'clock because the idea was they were going to pick me up, drop me home, and then go away. In the end, I got
didn't get home.
Exactly. In the end, I got a lift home from a friend, but one of the guys I was walking with. But it was just like, yeah, this is a mess. So, what was your walking story?
Mine's far less interesting, but it just
also
reminded
an
me.
extremely fun week, and I loved every second of doing it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I used to enjoy hiking.
The shit show getting home. Okay, so my walking story is far less interesting. I wasn't going anywhere. I was walking to work. So for a while, but I drive to work normally. It's like an 8-minute drive, but that translates into like a 45-minute walk. So for a while I was walking to work, just because it was doing me some good. It was improving my mental health. It was improving my physical health. I enjoyed it. And then the walk to work would wake me up and get me ready for work, and the walk home from work would wind me down from work and get me ready for home, and it was lovely. But unfortunately, the problem there is I'm trying to get there at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm walking in the middle of the night, basically. And now there's a stretch of road that connects St Helens and Newton, which is the place I commute from and to. And there's like farmland on either side, and it's like maybe 1.5 miles long. It's not particularly long. It's not particularly well lit either, but it's a long stretch. And if there's ever going to be mist, it's going to be there. It's going to be foggier on that road because obviously there's This one morning I was walking to work, as you do, and I'm not one to walk with earphones in or anything like that. I don't like listening to music first thing in the morning, so I'm just listening to the noises around me, which some people can find creepy, but I find it quite peaceful. And there's an awful lot of cyclists about around this area at that time of morning. And this particular morning, none had passed me. And then I get like halfway along this stretch of road, and I hear the squeaking of someone's bike chain going. It's someone pedaling up towards me. And it's not normally the cyclists that pass me are like they're geared up for it. They've got like the outfit and the little bag and the helmet and stuff like that, and they're hunched over. But this guy looked a bit more like a smackhead who was just going from one deal to another.
Did the bike look stolen?
Well, yeah, actually it did. Now that you mention it,
Was there a padlock jammed on the side, bouncing off the hill?
the previous owner was being towed from the back. Anyway, he got level with me, and people don't usually talk to each other that time of morning. It's very odd. Like there's the occasional dog walker who'll nod at you as they go past. But he got level with me. I went, "All right, mate, you having a good morning," and carried on going. which I thought that was really weird. About a minute and a half later, he comes looming out of the mist the other way, back towards me, but on the pavement. So I had to sort of step to one side to get towards me, and he goes, "Oh mate, I forgot my fucking shoes, didn't I?" Which is weird again, because like he was making eye contact with one of his eyes, and his other one was sort of like looking off to the west or something.
Not wearing shoes.
No, he was wearing shoes. It's okay. He was dressed fairly normally, although he wasn't
going back for shoes.
No. He had a backpack. I assumed that he was supposed to have shoes in a backpack or something like that. He was wearing shoes. But that's not the weird. I mean, it was weird because people don't normally talk. But then you get weirdos everywhere. No big deal. As I was reaching the end of this stretch of road, and I hear what seems like a really loud bike coming up, and my thoughts like that needs oiling or something. That needs some WD-40. Only to realise that the sound I can hear seems so loud because there was 14 people on bikes coming up behind me, being led by this one smackhead guy.
Is he like the Pied Piper for bikes?
I have no idea. And now this is where it got a bit scary because they all got level-ish with me, or like a little bit ahead of me, and they all stopped and turned to look at me, and I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, this is how I die.
I'm getting mugged. This is what's happening.
They would all just, like two or three of them were looking at me. The guy who'd seen me before was going, "Hey, it's you again," and the rest they were starting to get off the bikes. And I thought, oh, fuck. So I did the very British thing. I didn't make eye contact, and I maintained my pace.
Slightly lower head and walk past and just walk at pace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just don't look at them. It's going to be fine. 3 of them come to block my way, and I think, oh, for fuck's sake, this isn't going to end well.
My bum's going to hurt after this.
Why?
In a rape.
Oh, right, sorry. I thought you were telling me your bum's going to hurt after this story. 3 of them moved to block my way, and I think, oh, for fuck's sake. So I stop, I look up, and I say, "Morning, is there anything I can do for you?" And one of them, with a very, very strong smell of alcohol in his breath, gets right up close to me and just makes like very uncomfortable eye contact with me, whilst breathing heavily, and just says, "You got a lighter, mate?" To which my answer was, "No, I don't smoke." "All right. Never mind then." And then they all got back on the bikes and carried on. Out of 14 people, not one of them had a lighter. And they decided to terrify some stranger on his way to work. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Words from Our Mouths. Okay, go on.
Just a little one. This is a really good tone to end the podcast on. Out of all of that story, do you know what the first thing I thought of was? It's been stuck in my head the whole time.
Okay.
I tried to catch fog once. Missed.
I hate you so much. I knew it was coming. Do you want to plug the socials?
Yes, it's in the top right corner of the YouTube. It says @ourmouths. Go follow us on Twitter. We also have an email address, which is wordsfromourmouths. I always get it fucking wrong. wordsfromourmouths@gmail.com. That is wordsfromourmouths@gmail.com. And then we have a Discord link. That's in the description. I'm not even going to try and read that out. It's like XYZ123 Super Sniper Liquid Metal.
If that's correct, I'll give you money.
He also streams.
Don't you dare go and change that link.
Pete also streams.
Don't worry about me streams.
Me and Pete stream together, so it's like a podcast only live. We do that.
Okay, on Wednesdays. Yeah. If you want to see our interactions live whilst playing video games, then twitch.tv/Pete Smells. You'll see me and James play some video games on Wednesday nights.
Unless when one of us can't be arsed, and then
it's fairly regular though.
If we're doing it, it's on a Wednesday.
This has been a very long podcast at this point.
I think there's like 2 minutes of dead sound at the start.
But we're running into record length of podcasts for us. If you did enjoy this, consider pressing the like button, maybe telling a friend or two about it. Do you see I'm doing a good job, James?
I'm so proud of you. If you're on Spotify, remember to download and rate it. If you're on Apple, remember to rate it. We should now be reappeared on Stitcher because we disappeared off that for a bit. I don't know why. Hopefully I'll fix that. I'm waiting for an email back from them.
So to all one listeners there, welcome back.
Overdrive works because Kyle listens to it on there. Hi, Kyle.
Very good. Hi, Kyle.
I know Apple works because I get a notification from it. And
if you've made it this far in the podcast, please leave a comment or get in touch with us about what your favourite colour of apple is.
Only one correct answer.
This has been Words from Our Mouths. I've been Pete. That's been James.
I will always
See
be
ya.
James.